I mean, we are the perfect socially distanced podcast since 2008.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, like we're in 3 different boxes. This is what the network news tries to do. And fail.
Right?
Yeah.
They should have consulted with us.
Should have. People who have been doing this for a while. Yes.
It's really not that hard.
Shh, don't tell them that.
So our high school football team, since you can't have fans, and they were playing in Columbia, which is 2 hours away, for their first game on Friday. They used Be Live to broadcast the football game, and it was such a mess. Like I have to email that athletic director and be like, "Look, it's not that hard. Let's get this right," because I could hardly see the game. Like I want
right. You should be like, excuse me, we've been using Be Live for
ever.
We be live every Monday.
We be live.
Yeah.
I'll be live every Monday and Sunday night. So
all right, come on, we got to wrap this up because I got to walk over to Disney Springs.
Oh my gosh!
I'm trying to stall.
Stop.
Plus, I want to do Movie Under the Stars tonight.
No, stop.
Oh, shut up! That's killing me, dude.
I wonder what movie it is, babe.
Stop.
Can you check on that?
Moana.
Yeah, babe. What movie is it?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. We have questions.
Is it Moana? Is it Moana?
I don't know. Oh. I truly don't know.
Pam is reporting live from a new Moana room at the Polynesian.
Do not start that rumor.
She's gonna take us on a tour. It's got what's the big dude with the tattoos? He's in the bathroom. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And that's a bed behind Pam, so it is everybody use the force to come down on top of her.
Mike wants the bed to drop on me to increase our rating.
I just said it. I don't want it to. I just said it would be viral and to be good for the show. I'm just saying.
I'll pull like
that lady.
Yeah, I'll pull like a Gonzo and I'll like act like I'm tripping.
That was a good Gonzo, really. That was pretty good.
Will that help? Did that work? Are we instantly more famous now?
I don't know.
Dude, we're on YouTube, so you gotta be careful what you do. You never know what you're gonna get. Somebody heard the show last night when we were live on YouTube, just going through YouTube. So it called in. We had a good conversation about Disney movies.
They found the show from YouTube?
Yes, but they'd never heard the show. So they're asking me all these Disney movie questions. And I'm
and you're like, oh, I'm not the person.
You got to go back and listen to about a few more episodes, and then you'll see Mike does not watch movies.
I don't watch a whole lot, but I did pull it out a little bit. It wasn't too bad. I think I won him over. It was nice that he called.
That's
all right.
Awesome. Congratulations on the new listener, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Doug.
One listener at a time.
Whatever it takes. Time to tell.
Hey, that's how we started. I mean, it was literally just me, Mike, and
it's a pandemic, for Lord's sake.
Times are tough. We'll take one at a time. Okay, wait. Is everybody good? We're there. Okay. Here we go. So this is 17.
Are we live on YouTube, by the way? I mean, I know that, but usually it says that it says Facebook or YouTube, and I think this time it's just saying YouTube or Facebook.
No, either way, it doesn't matter. But we should be. It says we are.
But up at the top, there's the YouTube brand.
I get that. Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, I didn't know if we were on YouTube right now. Hold on, let me find out. I'll just tell Mike. That way he knows. I'll refresh my screen.
I mean, I got it selected on the top.
Okay, well, that's good. I don't know. My computer's slow.
We'll fix it next time.
Oh yeah, we're live. Okay.
There we go. All right. Questions. If you have questions, put them in the chat. We love current questions. We have some in the
Wow, I'm seeing one of the comments that was left on
What?
on YouTube.
What? There's a girl that leaves like some kind of comment every post we have.
Oh no! Somebody asked if you wanted to be her boyfriend. Yeah, we're gonna delete that comment.
46-year-olds. I'm telling you, I'm a YouTube star. I guess that's it.
Oh my
really?
God.
Delete that.
I deleted that one. You're fine.
Thank you.
I laughed really hard though. Oh yeah, this person definitely. I'm gonna hide their notifications.
Yeah, go through that and clean that out.
Don't worry, I'm going through it.
Pam's got deluxe burger and her ADR is burning.
Yeah. I know. I'm trying to keep her from going to Deluxe Burger. It's fine.
Let's go.
I'm not going to Deluxe Burger. I will say that.
Oh, you're missing out. It's good.
I've been, but
She's probably going to Homecoming.
I don't know where we're gonna go. Actually, we're gonna go somewhere where we can roll up and say, "Hey,
Paradiso 37."
That's true. There's always availability for that.
Seriously, something about that place. I just want to go there.
I've eaten there before.
Oh.
Yeah,
I have too.
It's actually not bad. I think I got nachos. They were good.
We got to do this. Here we go.
Okay, all right.
56. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 1756 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope this week is going well for you. September is treating you well. Remember, wake me up
Before you
when
go.
September ends.
Oh,
No, I'll say it.
Sorry, wrong song.
In 2020, here's my quick story at the top of the show. In 2020, anytime I dozed off to take a nap, like in the middle of the afternoon for like an hour, I would pull out my phone after I woke up from a nap and the world had changed 7 different ways every time, like in that hour. I'm like, I can't take naps. You can't fall asleep in 2020. Bad stuff happens. So anyway, don't wake me up when September ends. I'll be here hanging with all you guys. So joining me today from touringplans.com and most importantly, the mouseforless.com, where you're going to find out about all the breaking news, especially about the Polynesian. We have Ricky. What's up, Ricky?
Yes, everybody's losing their minds about the Polynesian. So just a couple of things. I know some people are a little freaked out because they're saying, "Oh my gosh, it's going to be Moana rooms." It's okay. It's not going to be like, all-star movies version of Moana rooms. It will be tastefully done, people. Imagine how they did the rooms at, say, like Riverside, and how they have the princess rooms and how they're very tastefully done. I assume it will be more like that than, all-stars. So
I was thinking about this earlier today. Here's what I'm thinking. Picture a Little Mermaid room with like Ariel on the shower curtain, but instead you have Maui in your bathroom.
I am sure it's going to be a little more subtle. Just throwing that out there. So a little more subtle than a giant Maui. So,
people are losing their minds, and I was kind of curious about it as well. But the thing that we've learned, and Pam taught us this, we'll talk to Pam just a sec, is that you got to trust Disney. They pretty much are good at these things. They messed with Pirates. It came out okay. They messed with Mansion. We talked about that for a long time. Came out okay. I like the royal rooms at Riverside. I like what they do with the resorts. I think we're going to be okay. I think we got bigger things to worry about in 2020.
I think so. It's going to be okay. I know everybody is the Polynesian was one of the first hotels, so everybody has like this connection to it and everything like that. But honestly, I think it's going to be okay. It's just going to be subtle. It's going to be very tasteful. It's not going to be Maui on a shower curtain. So
that would still be awesome. Anyway, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel reporting live from Disney Saratoga Springs Resort. What's up, Pam?
Hi. I'm happy that I get to do it from here. We're kind of doing some work. It's a workcation sort of. But yes, I know. So, I think you always have to trust Disney in this way. There's hardly been a themed room that they've done that I haven't really liked. I mean, look at the whole Art of Animation Resort. Now, definitely that's a value resort, but those rooms are themed. I mean, they're extremely themed. So I love that. And look at the resorts that they've opened recently, like Riviera, and the resorts that they've redone recently, like Coronado and Saratoga, which I'm at. They've done an extraordinary job, I think, really sort of updating those rooms to something that guests are looking for. They have all the amenities I think that guests are looking for in the style and the decor, but they've also kept so many Disney touches in those rooms. So it's sort of classy Disney, right? I mean, it really is. So I am looking forward to seeing what Disney can do. And who knows, it could change 100 times between now and when it opens. But the thing I'm most happy about is that Disney has decided to continue to invest in their hotels.
Yes.
And I love that. They could very easily say, you know what? We're not going to do anything. We're cutting everything down. And I don't think they get enough credit when they take an opportunity like that, where they're already going to have some downtime and they decide to reinvest in their company. So that's what makes Disney so great. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I was talking to a guest today just about that exact thing you just mentioned, Pam. And what I'm excited about is obviously this is probably a time where they saw an opportunity in a difficulty, because maybe the demand isn't there. They don't need every hotel room on property right now, probably for the rest of 2020, maybe moving into early 2021. We don't know. But instead of just shuttering it and letting it sit and collect dust, it's an opportunity that, and again, like you said, they are spending money on this, and coming out of this, we don't know. I mean, these Moana rooms could be all the hotness. I know, it's only been 12 hours at the time of recording since this announcement, but I mean, people see them. I mean, that's a property that isn't represented at Walt Disney World right now, but it's very popular and it fits the theme very well, I think.
Well, and plus, we've all joked about this in a lovingly kind of way, but we know that those rooms at the Polynesian remind us of the Brady Bunch vacation in Hawaii.
Where's my necklace?
So I guess that's the one thing I'm disappointed about. Why isn't there some kind of Brady Bunch Disney crossover?
Well, maybe only a couple. Look at our show right now. We're like a third of the Brady Bunch with the squares. They were just way ahead of COVID, like how we all communicate.
Cam, maybe that'll be the next thing Disney buys is the Brady Bunch. I mean, they buy all kinds of things. Maybe that's the next franchise that they're going with. I like that. So I mean, we can only hope, right?
I know. No.
I just thought about this though. Was the Brady Bunch on Zoom in their intro? I mean, seriously, it was like a Zoom call.
Yeah. Maybe that's true.
All right, let's get to the questions. First question comes from Anthony, who is in our chat right now, ironically enough, but this one's from the inbox from a few days ago. He's from omnidirectional Carolina, which I love.
That's awesome.
He says, don't know if you can make a whole show out of this topic, but we're trying to decide between a 6-night stay at Coronado with 5 days or a 7-night stay at Pop Century with 6 park days. As the total cost on each trip, all the other activities included, it'll be roughly the same. We've never stayed at a moderate before, but we've also never had more than 5 park days before, so both options have their own appeal. I know the BOGP crew will have many and varied thoughts on the subject. Thanks, Anthony. So would you rather go 1 extra night at Pop Century with 1 extra day in the theme parks, or 1 less day for Coronado and 1 less day in the theme parks? And here's the kicker for me. Even the minimum park days at Coronado is 5 park days. You get 6 at Pop, and you get an extra night at Pop. I'm going to let you guys go first. Pam, what do you say? What would you do? I think we're going to be on the same wavelength on this one. Go.
I'm going to do Coronado.
Yeah,
I am. And I think especially right now, your 5 park days are going to be plenty. I really do think that. I think that they will be for a while. But even so, I think that the experience you're going to get at Coronado, there will be lots of opportunity to enjoy those extra amenities. And especially since park hours are a little shorter right now, those kind of things become more important. You are spending a little more time at your resort, and that's a good thing. Coronado has a number of different dining options. They're not all open right now, but once it reopens, we'll see what's there. And Disney has slowly been adding other dining options to their repertoire of restaurants that are open. So I really like that. And I think you'll enjoy that part of it. I think you'll enjoy not only having the main pool, but also having the quiet pools. I think that you'll enjoy having the recreational opportunities. And Coronado is someplace that in the evening, I could be perfectly happy just walking around that lake. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And the rooms are a step up from Pop Century. They're a step up. They have all the modern conveniences. They've added all of that stuff like the USB plugs and whatnot. And the decor is just awesome. So I think you're really going to enjoy it. And I think it'll be worth it.
Same. Pop Century it does, I stay there a lot. Obviously I love the Skyliner. It's got it's the refurbished rooms, do a really nice job. But I mean, if you really want to feel like you're getting away, and you're Coronado, to me, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm a simple guy. It feels like a deluxe resort, especially now at the tower. And you got, Barcelona down there in the sunken in area. It's just beautiful. Like you walk in, you go down to, I feel like, like that scene in Rain Man where like they go down the escalator into the casino. Like I just need a suit and like a, Scott dressed just like me. And it's like, I'm coming into, I'm like a high roller or something. It's so sharp. It's got great dining, awesome pool. I would shave the 1 day in the parks, 1 night at the hotel to have that Coronado experience for 5 days. That's pretty impressive. Ricky, what about you? I know you tour a little different.
Yeah, I do. And, you guys are kind of winning me over.
Was it the Rain Man thing, like going down the
It was
staircase?
not the Rain Man thing with you going down with Scott. The escalator thing. No, that's not. No. It was. You definitely though did bring up some very valid points. I, however, am the type who I would like to have as many days as possible, and as in the park as many days as possible. So I would go for the pop for 6. Just like I said, it's if I can have that extra day in the parks, and I'm gonna take it. So that's where I go. I would go pop in 6. Yep.
All right. Shout out to Ashley, who's tuning in live from the Magic Kingdom as we record live. Walk on everything, she says. And opposite end of the spectrum, Tracy's tuned in over in Wales. So
Nice.
late night for Tracy. We appreciate you being here. All right, let's get to this question. I think it's kind of interesting. Len's asking and supposing, do you think they will ever create a walkway from the Polynesian to the Contemporary to complete the circuit? I know there are lots of obstacles between the two, but we can always hope. Think there's a chance of that, Pam? I mean, 5 years ago, we were just jonesing for that path that's soon to open from the Grand Floridian to the Magic Kingdom. I mean, it could be done, but the thing is it a priority? I don't think so.
I think too, there's a lot of waterway issues that you're going to run into. The Grand Floridian one was really fairly straightforward, where the one from the Polynesian to the Contemporary is not quite as straightforward. And you have a lot of boat transportation impacted by that area. You have, sort of the Wilderness Lodge boat that goes to the Contemporary is in that spot. You have all kinds of different things going on over there. So I think that would probably prevent it. I don't know though. It's Disney, never say never. I love the walkability. It's actually one of the things I enjoy most about both Disneyland and the Universal Orlando parks is that everything is so walkable. And I just find that to be so much more convenient to sort of even just be in control of your own destiny. So I love that. I would love to see it happen. I just don't know if it's possible.
You know what they should do? They should use these like little octagonal bricks, and like they should sell them, and you can put your name on it to remember a particular vacation, and then you can go back and visit it year after year. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
You know what? Disney, I'm telling you, Disney listens. They rolled their own Halloween party after we talked about it on the show.
That's right.
They did.
You're
yes.
welcome.
You're very welcome, everyone. And they did something else we did too. They listen. I'm telling you, they've got to listen. So yes. So
feel good when that happens.
Yes.
We had nothing to do with it.
No, we didn't.
Question for Ricky, because you drive around down there a lot. He said,
I do.
Money do you plan for when you rent a car?
Oh,
full money.
That's a good question.
It's all over the place too.
It is.
Are you apt to get lost a lot then? I would say.
So you can technically go non-toll roads if like you can like GPS it and find out the non-toll roads to get around if you really want to do. There are ways. It just takes forever. Gosh,
there's a toll calculator. Yeah, there is. And there's actually you can look up Florida Turnpike one too, but I think in the past, that's what I've done. Look up for that. I'm thinking though, it's definitely under $5 from the airport to Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
And then back. And if you're renting a car, you can just include that and it will be included, as part of your rental fee. But if you're not, then really, I think like $5. I think the one thing you do want to do is bring some quarters because there are some.
I hate that because I'm from a place where there are no toll roads. Like
I know
there's no toll road within like 300 miles of it. Chicago's the closest.
Yeah.
And so I never have money on me. You get off the
road. It's so crazy.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get arrested because I don't have any bucks on me. What I've done in the past is so bad. I've given the old fakie. Like I put my hand out and I go. Because I figure if the camera looks like they'll see my arm go, and then it's like 50-50. Was there something?
Yeah, no, that doesn't work. No. So nowadays, because they are onto you, Mike Rollman, they actually take pictures of your plates. And they will mail you a copy of, if it's your car, I mean, obviously they'll mail you a copy of your, going through the toll. I know they'll probably, I assume they would probably do that with a rental car as well. And then if the rental car company gets back, hey, you went through the toll, they will probably charge your card again after
There's a
the
little
fact.
fine for that if you don't have Easy Pass, but most of the rental cars do already have it, so they
do.
actually do just charge you for the tolls when you
Yeah.
get home.
But you do have to, so you can, when you rent a car, because I've done this before, you can choose to not have the capability turned on for them to charge you, or charge your card.
Why would you not do that? It's easy.
I think there's an extra fee. Honestly, I think that's why. So, but other than that, I mean, I always just bring. I mean, it's usually like $1.50, I think, for each time you go through the toll.
I had a
around
trailer
there.
one time, man. It was
that would probably be that's
oh
more money, Mike. A trailer is definitely more money.
yeah, and everything.
But I mean, I think usually it's $1.25, $1.50 to go through the toll from the airport to Walt Disney World, and then you've got to do it back. So that's another $1.25, $1.50. But I always like to make sure I have extra just in case like I get lost and go the wrong direction, or whatever, or end up going somewhere else. I would rather have the extra cash. So I just have, I usually have maybe about $10 in cash on me, and then
is it true that you get one free one like a year?
I don't know about that.
I've heard that.
I will say though, right now,
I'm not paying your bill.
Yeah, don't do that. I will say right now, because of COVID though, they are only doing toll by plate. So you can't pay by cash right now. So that's something else to keep in mind.
And Maggie, who worked down there, she says the airport, let's see, what'd she say? The airport signs take you to the 417 to Disney World, which costs more. Always take the 528.
That's smart, actually. Yeah. I like that tip. Thanks, Maggie. I'll appreciate that one.
No, and my favorite part of my Jeep still, I have a SunPass sticker behind the rear view mirror because it makes me feel like a Floridian, because I got it a couple times when I used to drive.
I have SunPass in my car.
Isn't that cool? Like I see it.
The great thing is that here in Georgia, the SunPass works. So when I want to use the toll lane here in Georgia, I just use my SunPass that I have. So it's kind of that nice little Florida touch.
Here's the deal. Not an expert at toll roads, but this next email from Kevin Anderson, I'm an expert. Where can I watch football?
You are definitely an expert. Yes.
Football's back. There was this game last Saturday night. I was like, oh, thank you. We're going to make it. And MIZ, because we're still in camp. Good morning. This is Kevin from New Orleans. We're planning a no kids, mom and dad only weekend trip in late September. What are some of the best experiences for us that are still open? We're looking to stay at Pop and hoping to visit Downtown Disney, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. We're looking for some ideas for good dining and activities. One, is the piano bar open?
Oh, no.
Not right now, but new things open all the time.
Yeah.
I've heard singing is lethal.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a fun place, though. So it's not open yet, but check daily. And two, is there a good place to watch Sunday night football? I'm sure he wants to watch his Saints. Or maybe, well, Sunday Night Football will be the Saints. I was thinking LSU. I really enjoyed the podcast. Thanks for all your Disney tips and the Run Disney inspiration, Kevin. Well, thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. So here's the thing. Did Tambu Lounge not just open like 2 weeks ago?
It did.
It is open because when I was there, it was definitely open for guests to be able to.
That's a place a lot of people like to watch football.
Yes, it is. I mean,
I would heavily suggest CityWorks down at Disney Springs now. They have all those televisions.
Poorhouse. That's right.
Yes, the Poorhouse.
CityWorks Poorhouse. Yes. And we just did the brunch there, by the way.
Oh, how was it?
It was good. It was really good. So
good. That's awesome.
I know, but yes, no, they have lots of televisions available. There's probably like 5 or 6 different shows showing at any one time. So it's like a little frenetic for me, but I know that a lot of people don't have an issue with that. So I don't really watch the television when I'm somewhere. My husband then is drawn to it. He's like, television.
Saints fans, though, I'm telling you, like Saints fans and LSU fans, it's football fans from the state of Louisiana. Like they gather. Like you see like people getting on a bus and it's like purple and gold, and it's like, oh, here comes the LSU. I'm ready for Coach Joe to get on this bus. We're in this game. Go Tigers. They got to watch your football together. So yeah, you want to be in an environment. I think he's more looking for like environment. So I think the Poorhouse City Works, I call it the Poorhouse. I think it'd be a good environment. Tambu Lounge, probably not as much of an environment, but you could probably get a better seat for the TV. There's not as many people there. Obviously, I don't think ESPN's open, right, on the boardwalk?
Not yet, but I wonder when it will be.
I mean, I can't imagine they keep it closed because you're right. With the opportunity is going to be there for football.
It will be. Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah. I would check that. Ricky, any other suggestions for watching the big game? Well, not the big game in September, but
no. Now, Pam took mine with City Works. I mean, that's just the best place right now to go watch the game. I mean, seriously, it really is. So.
All right. So the next question is about the Disney dining plan and an opportunity right now without a Disney dining plan to have a different or possibly better experience. And it's from listener Lauren, who in her salutation says roll tide. So right there, football, we're back. I'm going to nail it down to kind of the I'm going to skip some of the email, but I want to get to this. So she had a question and it's basically, she said, ahem for Pam. Okay.
Oh.
And since there's no Disney dining plan, they're getting out of their normal routines with dining. They use the dining plan. They go to the same places. They enjoy them, but she's boiling it down to which lounge. Give us some lounge.
Yes.
We're not talking about environment. We're not talking about drinks. We're talking about the best food.
Oh man.
Yes, we're certainly getting drinks, but I'm more concerned with also enjoying food since I'm not too picky with my drink selection. So where do you recommend for people who are Walt Disney World veterans, but have never wavered from the Disney dining plan participant locations? Here's to being positive about new experiences and options at a time where it's easy to be so negative. Roll tide.
I love, first of all, that you're going into it with a positive outlook, because right there, you've accomplished 75% of the battle. I mean, first of all, I haven't heard anyone come down and not have a fantastic experience, just because it is different, but it's not lesser, it's different. And in some ways it's really more awesome than before, more magical. I've heard everyone who comes home, it's more magical. So anyways, that's a fun thing. But so yeah, there are so many great lounge options, and most all of them have good food. The issue is that sometimes the menu is shrunk down a little bit, but if it's a lounge that's attached or close to another table service location, they oftentimes will allow you to order from there too. So keep that in mind. Some of my favorites include Ale and Compass. They have some really yummy flatbread options, and they have a good burger, and we really just enjoy that. They have good food. They have a buffalo cauliflower that is fantastic. So that's a good spot to go to. Right now, Cruise Cup is not open. I keep hoping that will open, because that's absolutely one of our favorite locations. So I'll throw it in there just so we can see them. Since we mentioned it, Disney will open it in the next day or two. Right. Yeah, it'll happen. So that's a good location as well. California Grill actually does not have their lounge right now because they're using that space for other seating. So keep that in mind, because that's one that we sometimes go to as well. Tambu Lounge did open up. They do have good options. Look at that one. I'm trying to think where else.
Was Territory Lounge open at Wilderness? I don't think it was.
It's not right now, but again, it could open at any time. We just, we don't know when these locations are going to open. So, consider that. Another place that is open right now is Martha's Vineyard at the Beach Club, and they do have some food options. So check that one out. The great thing is the app is incredibly up to date, really and truly. So when you're on there, one of the things you'll want to do is look by location, go to dining, and then search by all, or search by certain resorts, like if there's something that you want to go to, and you'll be able to see even the lounge menus are on there. And that wasn't always the case with the Disney app. They've been doing a better job with it lately, but they're keeping those really up to date now, because they want you to have that option available for you.
I would say too, to consider. Oh, go ahead, Ricky. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and because they're using the app to have the menus in general overall. So, you know, when you go and dine at a restaurant at Walt Disney World right now, they aren't giving you menus. They're giving you a little sheet of paper with a QR code and having you scan the QR code and pulling up the menu that way. So they're having to make sure that the menu is as up to date as possible because of that fact, which is good. You know, I mean, that they're finally taking that initiative. And you know, again, it's one of those changes that has been happening because of COVID. That is one of those things that I'm like, oh, why weren't they doing this all before? You know, why weren't we using, QR codes for menus before? We didn't ever use QR codes before, but this is such a genius use for them. So yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
If you're a real big planner too, why not? I was thinking about this. You mentioned QR code, take a picture of that QR code instead of scanning it. And then, at home, you could scan it occasionally. And if the menu's updated, you'd have it right there.
That's true.
As soon as they update it, you could just scan it from home. Anyway, another thing I was just going to throw in, I know it's not technically a lounge, but it has good drinks and it has some really good food options. Geyser Point, especially outside on a nice night.
100%.
Yeah.
So give that a shot.
Yeah, I think I could eat there 5 out of 7 nights. I mean, just for atmosphere alone, just to be able to roll up and be like, yeah, bring me something. I don't care, whatever. Because I like anything that's on the menu. So just go ahead and bring me whatever.
So
bring it on.
When I was there a couple weeks ago, I had Elizabeth ordered as an appetizer. They're like little peas in a pod. Where are they?
Edamame.
Edamame.
Yes.
So I didn't know. She's like, try it. It looks good, because it's like little peas in a pod with like salt or something on the outside. I ate the whole dang thing. I didn't know you were supposed to pop them out and eat them like sunflower seeds. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I was going to try one. You're supposed to crack that thing open. I was like, okay.
You are.
So yeah, I'm not real smooth. Anyway. So we have a question.
I admit that on the podcast, Mike, by the way. That's like, you could have just kept that one quiet. Nah, dude, you're out there with it.
I could eat a tree. Anyway, Matthew's got a question. If you had 9 days, how would you break up a Disney and Universal vacation? And what's your favorite hotel at Universal? Now, this is going to be different from like current days because you have very limited options over at Universal as to, I don't know when he's traveling. So Pam, I know you love, Ricky too, you guys love your Universal. So how would you break up 9 days Disney, like put some days on Disney, days on Universal, and pick a hotel?
I would do 3, 3, and 3. So I would do 3 days at a Disney resort and go ahead and choose, whichever one you want, and whatever the Disney resorts, if you're going to consider staying at 2 different classes, for lack of a better word, of Disney resort, I would do your least expensive one up front and do your more expensive one on the back. I would do then Universal, and Universal, if you can do one of the premier hotels, absolutely choose one of those because you will have Express Pass included.
Yay!
And I know it's such a huge benefit. It is. And the premier hotels are, of course, Hard Rock, Portofino, which is closed right now, and Royal Pacific, which is still available. So Hard Rock and Royal Pacific are going to be your choices in that category. And Royal Pacific is the least expensive of those 2, but still they both have great amenities. They both have a great pool area. They both have great rooms. So I think either one. If you want to consider one of the a resort at Universal that's not quite as expensive, then of course I'm gonna recommend Cabana Bay because it's so themed. It's so fun. Mike likes to get zestfully clean there.
In a 405.
Right? I know, right? So, and it's just a fun resort. They have not only family suites and standard rooms, but they also have 2-bedroom rooms and rooms that overlook Volcano Bay. So in my 3 days at Universal, I'm absolutely going to get a park-to-park ticket because it's important for me as a Harry Potter lover to be able to experience the train that goes back and forth. I know, right? That's a big part of the experience, and you're really going to enjoy that. You might also want to consider Volcano Bay, which would be a 3-park ticket because that is their water park. And to call it a water park does not do it justice. It does not. It's actually the wet theme park, as they often refer to it. It really is. It has so many great things to do. And again, I think I could go there and just float in that wave pool and be happy. But lots of other cool things to do there too. And the great thing about Universal is, like we talked about earlier, it's all walkable. It's all so close that you don't have to spend a lot of time in transition. You could spend part of your day going into a park, then part of your day at Volcano Bay, then part of the day going back in. So consider that. Then you're going to wrap up your trip at Disney. And I'd like to suggest this for Disney lovers because it feels like you're going back home, right? But I'm going to warn you, you're going to like Universal. So prepare to go back. But you're going to want to end up in Disney because that feels like home for you. Your comfortable sweater, right? We remarked once that Universal is like something new. Like you put it on and you're like, ooh, this looks good. And then you're going to go back home.
It's like that meme where the guy's looking over at the new thing, the new girl. Like
Exactly. That's what it is. So you put on your new outfit and then you're going to go home and change into comfy pants and you'll be back at Disney, or you can wrap up your vacation.
That's a good analogy. I like it.
Disney is now comfy pants and you're the hot girlfriend.
Those are two very good analogies.
I know. I'll make sure to send that into our Universal and our Disney sales rep.
They'll definitely want to go with that one. Yeah.
I will say, speaking of Volcano Bay, though, I was talking with a guest the other day. We're helping her plan her trip, and she's going over there, and I was telling her, you got to go to Volcano Bay. She's like, "Oh, we're going to Volcano Bay." Like, I've seen the stuff. We're going. We got to do it.
Yeah.
She's asking, well, this is a special trip. Like, we want to do it really, really want to do it right. I'm like, okay, let me just tell you, if you really, really want to have the day at Cabana Bay, I was like, they have cabanas. I'm like, get a cabana. I mean, you are like, just. She's like, oh, Mike, we already have a cabana reserved. I was like, do you have a microphone at your house? She's like, why? I'm like, just go drop it. And I'm like, just go.
Right.
I love it.
I know. You can make your reservation for your ride experience, the Tapu Tapu, from your cabana at Volcano Bay. So it's awesome.
Yes.
Nice. All right, real quick, I think I love the 3 pie approach to the 9 days.
I know. Well, that's the answer.
That is
the sandwich approach. This is the perfect.
That's. I mean, you Pam. I know you have it. Don't drop it because we still got to do a podcast and a half still. Okay, or at least one. Just one more. Ricky, what about you? A favorite hotel, if you had to pick one?
Okay, so I mean, obviously they have different categories of hotel. So I'm gonna agree with Pam. Cabana Bay is definitely the value version that I think absolutely you have to consider. If you are looking to go the more deluxe route and you want to make sure you have Express Pass, I mean, for me, it's Royal Pacific. I mean, Royal is so fantastic. It's such a great resort. It kind of feels Polynesian light in a way.
It'll fill in during this downtime.
Exactly, it'll fill in during the downtime. So I absolutely really want to suggest Royal Pacific as your option right now over Hard Rock. But I mean, again, I don't think there's a wrong choice in those. But I mean, if you're wanting Express Pass, you have to consider. I mean, Express is such a great perk of staying at those deluxe hotels at
it is.
So
but in Hard Rock you get a guitar in your room and I couldn't play it, but
and they have water or music underwater at their pool too.
That hotel,
that's true too.
That hotel is sweet looking. That hotel, I don't know. Sweet. Like I didn't think I'd like the theme of it because I'm not into the music scene too much, but it was fancy.
It's fun.
It was
fun.
Cool. It was just super cool. Especially
it's fancy. Royal is kind of chill. I think that's kind of
I know, and you can put your toes in the sand there. That's the thing I like about that too.
I just got to get out of this house. Please. All right. This one says it's from Michaela. She's from Kirksville, Missouri, just an hour away from Marceline, up where Northwest Missouri State is. I think it's actually called Truman State now. She says, "Dear Mike, Ricky, and Pam, love your show and go Cards." Yes, my husband and I are traveling to the world in a matter of weeks. It's the first time we've gone on vacation, just the two of us. Just the two.
Stop.
Let me up. She's so excited. We have 2 park days, Hollywood Studios and Epcot. Visiting Disney World used to be so much about strategy, but with no fast passes and fewer people, Is there any certain place you recommend to start touring at Hollywood Studios to get the best out of our time? We're staying at Pop and looking forward to the gondolas. Thank you for all you do, Michaela. Well, first of all, I'll pray that Cloudflare doesn't go down the day you're there, so you can make your boarding groups. That happened this past Sunday. People lost their mind. It was a mess because a bajillion websites were down. But apparently we know that Disney uses Cloudflare for My Disney Experience, and it usually is fine. Anyway, so the studios. About strategy. Ricky, what's your strategy right now currently to get everything done at the studios? I'm talking Minnie and Mickey, Sunset Boulevard, everything.
If you get there like really early, make a beeline to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. If you don't, I'm assuming you're probably going to be, because you're probably going to want to get that, a Rise of Resistance boarding pass. But if you don't, you also want to consider doing Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster first, and then waiting a little bit until later in the afternoon to then do Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I think that's probably the strategy that I would employ moving forward, because, Mickey and Minnie, that's the first thing that people head towards. I mean, not only is it the brand new attraction in general, but it's the first thing that people see. So, it's definitely that weenie that Walt wanted, and it draws people to it. So people are heading there in droves. So you might want to consider putting that off and doing that a little bit later, unless you just can get in within a 30 to 40 minute time frame, and then I'd ride it then. But that's kind of my strategy. And then after that, everything else is kind of easy gravy to ride. I feel like, it's pretty easy to get on Star Tours. I think Millennium Falcon is probably relatively easy to get on as well. So I think and the shows, there aren't obviously a lot of shows going on right now because they don't have performances going on in Hollywood Studios right now. So I think that's probably a good strategy.
When you got to go to if you're doing the shows, you just got to look at their schedules and squeeze those in because they're, you can't just walk up and, hey, we'll see the show. You got to. Here's what I say: if they can get there at park opening or pre-park opening, get there you're in the front of the crowd. If you're in the front, Mickey and Minnie's, make your Rise boarding group as you're, getting ready to get on that. Then as soon as you're done with Mickey and Minnie's, Slinky Dog.
Oh, Slinky! I forgot. How can I forget
Slinky? Second. Slinky Dog second.
Yes.
Then I would go down to Sunset, do Tower and Rock and Roller Coaster, then go from there with things like Star Tours, Midway Mania, boarding group. Depends on when you're going to do Rise, but that'll get you the best. Pam, anything else you'd suggest for that?
I think one of the other things you're going to want to do, as we talked about, is have the app open and look at the wait times. Use it to look at those wait times, because every now and then an attraction will out of the blue get a bump and have a little bit of a longer line. And if you wait literally 15, 20 minutes, that line goes down and then you're back to that. So when something seems like it's a little high, wait for it to go back down. And I think too, you're finding that a lot of people are getting there first thing in the morning. And again, like we've talked about, that afternoon sort of opens up, the afternoon and early evening, and they're not open late, but they are open to some degree in the evening. So keep that in mind too. That may be a different strategy altogether. I know though, our Uber planners are going to be like, I'm getting there when it first opens, but
12 years. No.
Right. I know. But I think maybe you can wait a little bit, especially in parks like Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, where there aren't quite as many attractions to see. But guess what you're going to be able to do? Ride Slinky Dog twice. So it'll be worth it.
The only issue, of course, that you run into is if you want the Rise Fast Pass or the Rise Boarding Pass, I guess I should say. If you want the two options, yes, you have to be there at 10 to get have the first crack at it, So, and you have to be in the park at 10 to have that first crack. So.
And make sure you take your heart medicine, because it's a harrowing experience.
Yeah, my brother just did it. He did it on Friday, and he missed the first window. He was there, but it went, in 10 seconds, he said. And so he didn't get in on the first go around. So then when the 2:00 go around came around, he actually luckily did get one. But, he was like, this is not good for my anxiety.
It's total stress. And, just, send a prayer up to Steve Jobs, at about 9:59 and see what that
right, exactly. That'll work.
I don't know how it works. All right, last question of the day. Exactly. It's from our good friend Maggie. She says, my dad says he's never had a good meal at Disney World. Then,
what?
Well, I don't know. Then he admitted he enjoyed Boma.
All right.
He won't do signature dining because he likes a good value. I think I would get along with her dad because he likes a good value. I'm kind of the same way. Where do I take him to eat on our trip next year? Anywhere on property's fine.
Okay.
So we're looking for something, can't be signature.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be Boma, though, is kind of exotic, but it's expensive, but not Boma's not signature, is it? No. Boma's not. So someplace it can be a little expensive, but it has to be non-signature but good. Pam, real quick off the top of your head, what are you saying?
So I was just thinking, as soon as I read that, I was thinking, she says her dad's a total grump. Maggie, we all have a dad who feels like that sometimes. Yes. I think so.
Paige and Mallory say the
same. Right. So what do you think about Whispering Canyon? I think the thing is that it has those skillets, and I think that has the options now, or at least there were different options. We're gonna have to see what happens when they reopen. But I'm thinking, there might be something there that appeals to him because he wants the good value. I will also say, though, there's some table service locations that are not signature and are typically good values. And that includes Ale and Compass and Kona. The entrees at those level of table service are much less than the ones at the signature restaurants. So consider those. And they both have some great options. We ate at Ale and Compass the other night. They have this half chicken, lemon chicken. It is so good. Steve and I split that. But I mean, it's just, there's some good food there, and Kona is always putting out some good food there. So you might want to consider those too.
Yeah.
I second Kona. I was going to go with that.
I got the lobster mac and cheese at Kona like last weekend, and it was an appetizer, and it was amazing. I could have eaten just that by myself. Like, that was fine, so they definitely have some good options at Kona right now. I am going to suggest a couple of things. So if you're looking for like value per deliciousness, then that's a measurement, right? Then I'm going to suggest something like Trail's End, because they have amazingly good fried chicken. And of course, it's more down home. So, it just kind of depends on if you want that down home kind of meal. If you want something that is a little more exotic, but also kind of reasonable, you have Sanaa, which he liked Boma. So that's kind of why I thought of Sanaa as a good option. The bread service is to die for. So that's always good. And then I also, the thing that popped in my head was Topolino's Terrace. I feel like, that's definitely a little more upscale, but it's not a signature dining experience. The breakfast that I had was incredible. Although right now I heard obviously the steak is not on the breakfast menu anymore. I haven't had dinner there, but again, I've heard fantastic things about dinner. So I'm dying to try dinner at Topolino's. So that's an option for you as well. It definitely takes it to that next level up as far as dining, but it's not a signature dining experience.
And now you're hungry.
Yes.
There you go. Everybody's hungry no matter when you're listening to the show. 2 a.m, 2 p.m, we're all starving. All right. Thanks for the great questions. Remember, you can send those to the inbox. We sure appreciate that. Just send those to mike@beourguestpodcast.com. Put listener question in the heading, and we'll get that here on the show. Don't forget, today's show is brought to you by our great friends over at the Magic for Less Travel. When you're ready to head to a Disney destination, and we've been talking about Adventures by Disney. We talked about that last Friday. Some folks are looking into those. We're looking at some guests checked out Boston. I had somebody heading down to Machu Picchu. How cool is that?
That's awesome.
It's all over the place. You can see the world with Adventures by Disney. Of course, we book Walt Disney World, get down there and have a meal at Olivia's, Kona, Sanaa, all these places we talked about. Disneyland, hey, it's looking like it's moving in the right direction on the West Coast. We'll see here soon. And I think cruise line's moving in the right direction as well. But the good thing is, plan now and get ready for that vacation, whether here in the rest of 2020, as we can do that, or 2021 is going to be a banner year. 21 was my baseball number. It was also like the year that my grandparents were both born. So it was always my lucky number. So I'm just pushing 21 is going to be a great year. We're going to come out of this. So make your plans now to make that year awesome. Be proactive. Don't let 2021 push you around. Right now, book that vacation. Say, you know what, 2021, I'm having a great year. You aren't going to get me. Well, I shouldn't say that. Forget that. That's a bad ad read. I'm just saying, prepare for an awesome 2020 booking trip now.
Pam, you're not paying for this one, right?
Right.
No, just drop by the Magic for Less. All the trip planning tools are there. You know how it works. You've heard this for 12 years. Great free service, and you're going to have a partner in your planning. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And if you want some extra content in your week, become a patron, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. One of the things we do on Patreon, we now have a private server for the patrons. We have a good time over there. It's like a 24/7 live chat. So if you want to get on that, just come over to the Patreon, join that. We appreciate that so much. We also have Discord servers for the podcast in general. So if you want to do that, just go to beourguestpodcast.com, right-hand side, or if you're on the mobile app, scroll down, click on the link. It'll take you right there. That's totally free for everybody. We chat there all the time as well. And if you're a lizard, there's one for the lizards, because you know what? Runners got to have a server too. That's what we got it. We got to meet up at the races when they happen. Please let it happen. Anyway, also give us a follow on social media, Instagram and Twitter at BeOurGuestPodcast and BeOurGuestPod and at BeOurGuestMike, and of course Facebook and YouTube. Just search for the Be Our Guest Podcast. All right, time to get out of here. Until we get back together on Friday. On Friday, we're talking about kind of an interesting topic. What is essential to do on a Walt Disney World vacation from the time your eyes open in your hotel room until you hit your first attraction? So there's certain ways that you can get the day started the right way and the wrong way. If you miss certain benchmarks throughout the morning, we're going to set you up for a great day on your next Walt Disney World vacation. So until then, for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Time to get back to work, and we'll see you real soon. Save it. Oh, dude, I'm starving now. I could go for some Kona.
I gotta tell you, that mac and cheese was a huge bowl of lobster and crab mac and cheese. Oh, so good. And then I got the pot stickers too, because I
love the pot stickers.
I know. Well, they changed them. They changed the pot stickers. They're still delicious. They're not like in a sauce like they were before. And now they're kind of like pan fried on the bottom. Oh, they're so good. Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
So good.
Jennifer says I'll fix the Discord link. It might have changed. So thank you, Jennifer. I will check that tonight because the show doesn't come out till Wednesday. Yeah, I'll fix that. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about this. Here we go. 1758. Welcome to episode 1758 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. And if you're here in the States, happy 3-day weekend for most of us. It is Labor Day weekend. The summer is come and gone. Or actually, I saw somebody post the other day on Twitter. Today is March 173rd.
That's how I feel. Truly.
So true.
Like, when will March ever end?
I was cracking up when I saw that. I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh, that's funny. No, so summer's come and gone, and now the kids are back in school. Most places, or at least at your kitchen table, trying to learn. Hey, Mom, how do you do the Zoom thing? Dad, help, Grandma. I know, I feel your pain. So a little behind the scenes, Pam is teaching. My daughter Mallory's at in-person school, so she just goes. We send her off. She's at school regular. Pam is teaching virtually, and we don't have a huge house. So while Paige is back at Mizzou, Paige's bedroom has become Pam's office, which is actually behind this big wooden wall behind me. If you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube, now the good news is I'm usually home by myself, and I'm doing my work at my computer. It's just me. Sometimes I have TV on for a little background music or whatever, background noise. So today it was the first day of virtual learning for her in her 4th grade. Now, my wife is not a technology fan. If you know her, she's old school. She just likes to teach it the old way, give her a chalkboard, an eraser to throw at a kid, and she's set. She doesn't need all this.
Did you say an eraser to throw at a kid?
Every once in a while, you got to get their attention. I'm just saying. Anyway, back to the story. So today, first day of school, as we're recording this show, I'm listening to all these comments from the kids. And it's so funny because it's the same thing that happens in a classroom, but now it's over, like, it's distance. Like, there was a kid typing, like, they're having like a chat in the chat room. Nothing about what Pam's talking about in the lesson or the procedures. They're just talking about like what they're having for lunch. And she's like shutting them down. So I heard another kid, like, you could just hear this baby crying, just like, I'm like, what's that all about? She's like, could you please mute? If she said, could you please mute your microphone once, she said it 118 times today. And I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity though, because when I taught for 17 years in elementary school, my dream was that I could push a button and just mute a kid. Like, I mean, like I was like, God, that'd be the greatest attack. Like, okay, you're talking, boop, mute, you're done. Like, I mean, so times are different in 2020, but it's been interesting sharing an office with my wife right behind me, teaching fourth graders over Zoom and all these other Canvas and all these other programs. It's pretty awesome. So we are going to have a fun weekend. We're getting kicked off right here with some fun Disney talk. Ricky's from touringplans.com and the Mouse for Less. Happy Labor Day weekend. Ricky, what's up?
How are we here? I don't understand what happened. I don't get it.
We labor on Labor Day.
I have no idea. I thought summer just started, so I'm super confused by everything, going to be perfectly honest. But then it's the strangest year ever. So, yeah, happy Labor Day, ? I don't know. I guess now it's time. I mean, I know that, Starbucks brought the pumpkin spice latte, early, but I guess now it's, in a weird way, officially time for pumpkin spice latte. I don't know. I don't drink it. So, it's a weird year, man. It's a weird year.
Well, summer's going away. What the decorations and all that go up the Magic Kingdom? What, the middle of September?
September 15th. Yes. So I have my next trip planned tentatively. When the dates came out, I was like, okay, when can I get back into the parks according to annual pass holder dates? Okay, and when does that line up with when I can go with Brian? Okay, I picked my date, so I'm going October, I think, the weekend of the 8th or something like that, or somewhere around there. So anyway, I've got that planned out. So I want to see Halloween. At Walt Disney World. So
also joining us, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, still live from Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort. Pam Forrester. Pam, what's up?
Hey, happy Friday. I'm ready. I'm ready for a 3-day weekend. I feel like we all weekend should be 3-day at least. Like if we're doing all this other stuff, that's not so fun, shouldn't we get 3-day weekends at least? I think that would be at least, would lessen the blow of some of this stuff anyway. Sure. So.
But I feel like I'm on because I work on the weekend, so it's like been a weekend since March. Again, it's the same thing. I know. If it's Saturday or Tuesday, it doesn't matter. Well, Pam, I got to ask you this. So we were having this conversation about the roll your own Halloween party that we proposed for Disney. And
yes,
and all that
totally
stuff.
Went for it. Yes,
on our call-in show last Sunday night, which was fun. Sunday night we got a live call-in show. Want to join us 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central, right here, YouTube and Facebook. So I want to hear from you, even if you're partying. Anyway. Here's the irony of this whole thing. Like you can wear your costumes, go to the Magic Kingdom, get buy some cool cupcakes. They're going to have the, maybe the Creeper Crew. Remember the Creeper Crew from back in the day?
Yeah.
They're going to roll by like in a little cavalcade. That's my dream. I just like saying Creeper Crew. So they need to
they haven't announced that the Creeper Crew is coming back. But
it'd be cool. Like, I mean, they're probably not booked for anything else in 2020. And, real quick story on that one. I was going down for the party that year. They had the Creeper Crew. And we did. Remember they put online like you could learn their dance.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was on like YouTube or something. It was like
you can prepare.
I taught my gifted kids because I had like 5 different classes because I had different classes each day of the week. We all learned the Creeper Crew dance. Like I was like, okay, indoor recess, we're learning this dance. Dude, the kids loved it. Like we did. All the monsters gone. I still remember the song, "Gonna Dance, Coming to Get You." Yeah, it was so fun. Anyway, the long story longer. Here's the deal, fam. What's the one rule for this? You're not allowed to wear a mask with your Halloween costume.
But
right,
not allowed to wear a mask, or do you have to wear a mask? What?
You can be creative. You can definitely decorate your mask to theme with your costume, so I think it's okay.
Yeah, and the mask rule. I mean, besides the mask that we all have to wear now, has been there in effect for a while. So yes. I think for safety reasons, I get that the mask thing. But yeah, right, a little ironic. Pull out that Alana
maybe like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife.
Right. I know. So anyways, yeah, but think about the cool thing you can do with your face covering, if you want to incorporate it into your costume. You can't wear a mask, but you can wear a face covering.
And it's the Kentucky Derby this weekend. I think it is. This year's so screwed up. That's what I swear. Things are so confusing. Okay. So anyway, to the topic at hand. we've driven this into the ground.
Right.
Let's set you up for a good day on your next Walt Disney World vacation. So we're going to talk about what's important to get done from the time your eyes open in your hotel room, whether it's Yacht Club, whether it's Pop Century, whether it's All-Star Music, you're in a villa over at the Polynesian, whatever. Doesn't matter where you are. Even if you're off-site. We could talk about that too. When you wake up in the morning, there's certain things that have to get done before you hit your first attraction. So I usually, if I'm going to the Magic Kingdom, I always go to Space Mountain. You know, if I'm going to Epcot, I'm probably heading to like Soarin' or something like that. Doesn't matter. What are the things that have to happen so that you have a good rest of your day? Or what are some of the things that you always do by habit from the time your eyes open until you get to your first attraction? Because once you hit that first attraction, you're kind of on that, okay, here's what we're going to do. The day flows from there. But we're setting up a good day. So Ricky, you wake up, whether it's in a hotel, whether it's, you know, with your parents or whatever, your brother living down there. What are some things you must do? Give us the first thing that has to be done before you hit that first attraction.
Coffee.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I mean, that's like, it has to happen.
Like coffee. Any way I can get it, it doesn't matter. You know, whether I'm brewing it myself at my hotel, at my parents', whether you know, my brother doesn't have a coffee maker. Oh, we need to fix that. So, you know, if I'm going to a Dunkin' Donuts or a Starbucks, preferably over a Dunkin' Donuts, you know, I am getting some sort of coffee beverage inside this vessel here, because it doesn't work well if it does not have coffee. You know, if that's hands down like the number one thing. Like, I wake up, I take a shower, and then I figure out where I'm going to get coffee from. Like, that's the number one thing that has to happen.
Let me ask you about this seriously, because I'm not a coffee drinker, but I do drink Coke Zero, which is easier because I just get it delivered to my hotel, 24 pack, throw it in the mini fridge, and I'm set. As far as coffee, of course, now the hotels have the coffee makers with the Joffreys in the room, but I know people are very particular about their coffee. So Pam, do you tend to, before you even go to a park, will you walk all the way down to the food court to get a specialty coffee? Do you make it in your room? What's the hack for that?
I mean, I would need coffee before I went down to get coffee.
Yes.
So I absolutely drink what's in the room, and I like the Joffreys. I really do. And so like I tend to use stevia instead of, you know, the other sugar substitutes. So we bring that from home so that we're ready to go. But yeah, I really do enjoy the coffee that they have in the rooms now. It's actually, you know, I wish I could get it. I mean, you can order from Joffrey's, but there's like something about having it here, like at the Disney Resort, that I sort of connect the two. So absolutely, we make coffee in the room all the time.
You know, I love the smell of coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, but like, make it, you know, it's like, it smells good. It smells like more, you know, if Disney want to take it to the next level, they should put one pink donut in every room, and they win me over with that. One of those Joffrey's donuts. Those things are good. I've been thinking about that thing for 3 weeks. Like, I've been back for 3 weeks, and what am I thinking about? You know, low crowds. That was okay. You know, I got to ride all my rides. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. The pink donut. It's like, all right, Pam, what else? So we get up, we wake up. Like, what are some crucial things to get us set for a good day?
So I'm always before we leave, we're thinking about what we are going to drink throughout the day, because we drink water all the time. So I take a Contiga, but I'm packing the bag for the day. And we've talked about this. I don't really take a lot in my bag, but I do take a Contiga holder that I fill with ice. And then I take other water in with me, or buy water throughout the day, whatever. But at least I have that base of ice. I put other stuff in my pack that I may need, like a charger. I think a charger is even more critical now than it used to be.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm trying an umbrella. We look at the weather to see what that's going to be. And like, typically the weatherman can predict that day, but I will not say it's without fail. So every now and then you kind of get caught without the umbrella when you really, really needed it. But if it looks like it might rain, I include it. And I'm not, like I said, I don't plan a bunch of things. But the other thing I might look at is if I was looking for a particular dining reservation for that day and I wasn't able to get it, I will check first thing in the morning to see if it's available. And sometimes you get really lucky and it is. So that's something we do before leaving the room too.
I'll say too, for me, when I get up at, and this is just me, it's not for everybody, but I do like to go for my run early in the morning. I get up super early, usually before the sun comes up, get my run in. So my exercise is out of the way for the day. If you want to exercise on vacation, I just get that totally out of the way. I come back and get a quick shower. But like Pam said, while I'm waiting for the rest of my family to get ready, that's a great opportunity to jump on my Disney experience, just kind of get an overview of the day, kind of see like, okay, in normal circumstances, where are my fast passes today? Like when do they, the most important thing is like, when do they start? Is my first one at 11? Is my first one at 9:30? Is my first one not till this evening? Like, did I hang them that way? Cause things go fast on your Walt Disney World vacation. And sometimes you think you have something and you're like, oh, I forgot that I modified them. And so I kind of get a good lay of the land. Like, what's my ADR? Can I improve that? Say I have like an ADR for Whispering Canyon, but I could only get 730. Like you said, Pam, get on there and toy around with it while you're waiting for everybody else to get their showers, get dressed for the day. Because, I think a lot of us, and I hear this all the time on the podcast, especially when I'm helping people plan trips. Typically the folks that are listening to our show are like the people that are like up and ready to go. But like we love our families, right? But the thing is, sometimes the families drag rear end, like getting out of the room and like you're just dying. So I think you got to find something to occupy your mind and maybe, look to improve your fast passes, look to improve your ADR time, look for those opportunities, kind of see, if the park's not open yet, just kind of do those things. But if you're later in the day, see how the park's going with wait times and that kind of stuff. So I would say, get it. For me, it's exercise and kind of play around with the schedule for the day. That's what I like to look at and get what about breakfast? Let's talk about this. So sometimes I have breakfast at the theme park, so I'm waiting to eat. But again, if I run, I'm like ravenously hungry. So sometimes I'll have like a little, like maybe like a cheese and crackers or something with a Coke Zero. Something's got a little peanut butter in it to give a little protein. But what's your typical strategy, Ricky, for like a breakfast or like getting ready to eat? Do you wait till later in the morning or do you go before you hit your first attraction and get something to eat?
For the most part, I'm eating something before we get to the parks. If we don't, things get angry very quickly. So because what will happen is then I will start going around the parks and then I won't eat for a while because I'm going around the parks and then we make Brian hungry. So we've kind of established, let's just eat before we get to the parks before we ever do anything. And that way we make everybody happy. So most of the time we will make a breakfast ADR, especially since we stay off site. So a lot of times I'll get up in the morning and I'll find some sort of breakfast ADR that, we'll talk about where we're going to be in the morning, where we're going, what park we're going to, and what, breakfast options that we like that are near that, park for that morning. So a lot of times we'll do that. Sometimes I'll have it made in ahead of time, but a lot of times I'll just do it the morning of. Occasionally it depends. That happens more often when I'm with Brian. If I'm by myself though, I will oftentimes, just grab probably again, going to Starbucks on the way to Disney or something like that, grab a pumpkin loaf or, something along those lines. If I go to Dunkin', I'll grab a donut, just something to get in my stomach a little bit so that I can go into the park. But really it kind of depends on who I'm with. If I'm by myself, I'll tend to, just grab a quick snack. If I'm with Brian, I will tend to grab an actual breakfast. And we almost always grab a breakfast. I mean, every time, and unless we're staying at a Disney resort, we'll grab the counter service breakfast at the hotel. But since most of the time we don't, we'll go ahead and make a table service breakfast reservation in that morning.
What about you, Pam? Do you tend to have breakfast before attraction one, or do you tend to because I mean, we all know that, under normal circumstances, that morning, that's a precious few hours. You can get a lot done.
We do. I'm a person that typically, in the morning, I want to have some kind of protein and I don't know what it is. And so, like, I feel like if we don't, my whole family, like, if we don't have like a real breakfast that includes like an egg or some kind of protein of some sort, then we're going to get to the park and we're going to have something that we all, that tastes good, but then we're going to crash in a little bit because we don't have that. So we tend to eat at the resort, before we leave, and we get up really early anyhow, so we have the time to take, and we'll still be there at opening time. And I think too, especially at the Disney resorts, there are options that sort of appeal to everyone. Like, I know some people love to have like pancakes and French toast, and there's usually something like that, but then there's always going to be an egg dish. There's typically vegetarian options and all kinds of things like that. So unless we have, sort of a breakfast happening later in the morning, because, we're doing a character breakfast or whatnot, we're going to grab something and then we're going to go to the parks.
Kind of along those lines, one of the things we learned about 5 years ago that we liked, and we did it because of circumstance. It was one of those things like we couldn't get an ADR when we wanted it, but this is what happened. We wanted to go to Chef Mickey's. We were going down with somebody, I can't remember. And I think the only time we could get an ADR was like at 10 o'clock for breakfast. It was a late breakfast. But the Magic Kingdom opened that day at like 8 o'clock for extra magic hours. So here's what we did. Now, this isn't ideal because what we did essentially was kind of have two breakfasts, or like a breakfast and a brunch. We couldn't wait till 10 o'clock to eat, especially when you've exercised, run, and you've gone around the Magic Kingdom for 2 hours. Summer, you're going to crash really hard. You need nutrients. But I had something like a couple of Rice Krispie treats and a soda, just enough that it like tided me over. And then, so what we did was we got like an hour and a half of great ride time at the Magic Kingdom. Then just walked over to the Contemporary, had that massive breakfast. Then we didn't even eat dinner that night because we were so full. We just snacked the rest of the day. And so while you think, Chef Mickey's is expensive, which it is, we didn't eat dinner. We just ate snacks. I think we hopped over to Epcot that night and we got the morning in. We had an afternoon break. I mean, it just worked out perfectly because I always thought, I want to have that like 7:30 Chef Mickey's, or like 7 o'clock and then get over to the Magic Kingdom ASAP. Where it actually, if you go to the Magic Kingdom first, then go have breakfast, it set up the rest of our day really well. And it was one of those things, again, we could only get the ADR then. So it wasn't like we did it on purpose, but after we did it once, we're like, that's a great hack. So
yeah, it is. I mean, that's one of the nice things about the later breakfast is that I don't get, super hungry for lunch. So I can kind of, lengthen out my meal, and if I'm not super hungry for dinner, then we can grab, a quick snacky dinner or something like that. But, the later breakfast is kind of that, again, that's kind of key for us because, then that way we're not like starving the rest of the day too. So,
and two, what I would look at too, if you're looking for a breakfast, either pre-park opening or first thing in the morning, so you can get to the park at a reasonable time to get ahead of most people. When you're looking at the Magic Kingdom, look at things like, if you want to do something like under normal circumstances, again, like Ohana, like the family breakfast there with Lilo and Stitch, or the Wave, or something like that, or with Spring Canyon, you can catch a boat over to the Magic Kingdom. What you need to do is look at the resorts that are close to the park that you're going to. Now, for example, in August, we were going to Epcot that day. Well, right now, Epcot's opening at 11 o'clock. That is crazy. So what we did, again, Scott was on this, and it was very smart, is that, of course, you're going to, you're Disney, you're not going to sleep in that late. So we made like a 9 o'clock ADR at Olivia's, which is close to Epcot. So we didn't even have to get up super early. We had a great sit-down breakfast at a nice resort. We sat on the patio at Olivia's. It was beautiful. It was a great Saturday morning. Still made it to Epcot for rope drop. I mean, it was, so even though like these park hours are, not ideal right now, see it as an opportunity. We got to sleep in, we got to have a meal, we got to be there at rope drop. You would never get to do that otherwise.
Yeah, it is true. Absolutely. I am enjoying the 11 o'clock opening for.
You are.
I mean, I'm still not making it for rope drop. Ironically enough, still can't make it to rope drop. But the ability of knowing that, the park is just opening right after I'm getting there, or right before I'm getting there, I guess I should say, is kind of a nice little thing.
Well, let's talk about this too. I really believe, and I think runners are the best at this, but I think it carries over to just kind of the super planner in the family who's getting everybody, making sure we get to where we need to get, whether it's the dad, the mom, grandma, whoever it is taking everybody. It's setting yourself up for success. That's kind of what we're talking about. You know, the first things you do in the morning, you got to get that breakfast. You got to check your plans. You got to improve your plans. You got to do, you know, we've talked about those things, but I really think as you think more about this, it happens more, not from the time you open your eyes when you wake up in the morning, but it's before you go to bed the night before. Right. So I know some people, and I've heard, you know, this is a great, I never did this. I'm not the packer for our family, but I've heard, you know, families with kids will put, you know, outfits like in big, huge Ziploc bags. Like, this is Monday, Magic Kingdom Day. You're going to wear this. This is Tuesday. It has everything, you know, it's got the underwear, the socks, the shirt, the shorts, whatever. What about that, Pam? So looking at the night before, how can you set yourself up so that, you know, when you wake up in the morning and open your eyes, it's not like, oh my gosh, it's chaos. Like, okay, we got this. We're ready. We're ready. We just knock these things out.
It is. So when, you know, once your kids get to the age where you feel like you can trust them, you know, to put on all components of an outfit, I think that it is a good idea to somehow come up with some way to organize them. And I have heard of like some people doing Ziploc bags and having one for each day, and then their child can just go pick one out, and then all the stuff, the components that they'll need from head to toe are sort of in that bag. Another thing that I've seen parents do is sometimes, you know, you can get these like collapsible like shelves that you can hang in a closet, and it's genius to sort of use those in that way too, like each day, one for each day, and you might have to reload at some point depending on how long your vacation is. But again, it's going to include all the components for that outfit so that your child can do that independently. And we all know, like, once a child gets to start doing a few things independently, that sort of frees up other people in the family to get stuff done at the same time. So it's sort of nice. I mean, they may end up with shorts on backwards or a shirt on backwards every now and then.
So does Brian. It's fine. It's fine.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right. So, and you know, if your child, some kids are really picky, like they want to pick out their outfit. So get them involved in that process before you leave home so that it is something that they're going to be happy with. And some kids don't care. I mean, you can put out whatever and it won't matter, but it will save, I think, not only time, but it also sort of saves that, like, those conflicts that you may have in the morning that could sort of start the day off on the wrong thing when you're like, you're not wearing that. I am wearing this. I love this shirt. And you're just like, oh yeah.
Saying I might need to just put his bag and his clothes in Ziploc bags and go, okay, here's what you're wearing today.
Do now. So yeah, so it does. And I think anything you can do to sort of avoid that conflict is a good thing in the morning, and start the day off right, because you also know that sometimes when something doesn't go right in the morning, it's shot for a little while, right? To get everyone to recover. Again, you're sort of like, oh, how long is this going to take before we're all back to like just having a good time? So do that.
You know, I swear that, you know, you have to enjoy the pre-trip stuff, the planning, the, you know, watching the promotional videos, whatever, because the trip goes way too fast. So if you can extend the entire experience from the planning time, from the time you start deciding you're going to go till the time you get home, that could be 9 months. You know, I mean, of course it's not 24/7, but it makes the whole experience fun. I think, you know what, you bring up a good point, Pam, is that say you have the kids help you throw the stuff in the bags before you leave, because, you know, two things, like, one, they're going to get excited for the trip, seeing, okay, I get to put this Mickey shirt in with these red. But the thing is too, and I've learned this from being a school teacher, you know, not necessarily a parent as much, but when you give kids ownership in something like that, you're way, way, way less likely to have any conflict that once you get to they had a say in it.
It's very, very true. And you know, all those little tricks you learn, like give them a choice of two things. Both are the things that you want them to do, but they get to choose. Like, do you want to brush your teeth first or put on your pants? I mean, you know, all those things that you learn as a parent. But like, remember that, like, a vacation is sort of stressful for everyone. Not that it's not stressful in a good way, but like, it's just different for everyone. You're eating at off times, you're eating different things. Everything's really exciting. You're probably staying up a little late. You're not sleeping as well, whatnot. And it's that way for kids too. So like, make things as easy on you and on the kids as possible.
I agree. Plus, I mean, you know, like, in our house, like Mallory gets ready in her bathroom now. Paige is off at school. Pam, we get ready at different times. And when you're on a vacation, say you're staying at Pop Century and you're a family of 4, I mean, it's so weird. Like I never have to sit there and go, come on, let's go. Because we're doing our own thing in our real life. But God, when you're all trying to get to the bus at the same time, and especially when you have like a wife and 2 daughters, it's like, dude, you don't have to dry your hair. Like it's humid outside. It's going to just,
and then it's going to be a big giant fuzzball. So
yeah,
no,
you do have to dry your hair. Yeah, no, if my hair is not fully dry and it gets humid, it is so curly. So
mine
yeah.
goes up in a ponytail every single day when I'm in Orlando, because if I don't, it's a mess. So yeah, no.
Here's another thing I'm going to throw in. Again, this stuff, and a lot of folks, Maggie and Sarah and Lisa, everybody's saying they use the Ziploc bag method. So it does work. It's tried and true. So try it out. I will say this is, and Pam mentioned having her external batteries and stuff.
Yep.
As soon as I get in a hotel room and I bring this stuff with me, I'll bring a huge power strip with enough USB cables. And now the rooms are getting a lot better with this, because you can do this all over the place now, like at Coronado and the remodeled Pop Century. But the thing is, I always make sure before I leave home that we have enough chargers and stuff. And the thing is, my role is the night before when everybody goes to bed, so that in the morning we're all set. I make sure everything's plugged in, Mallory's iPads. Because the thing is, like, she's not taking the iPad to the park, but I plug it in so that the next night when she wants to use it, it's got juice. It can charge up all day while we're at the parks, but especially like phones, external batteries, my job right before I go to sleep, so that in the morning when I get up, you just got to grab and go. Everything's got to be plugged in. So I think the most tech savvy person, or the most just kind of crazy planner person, needs to take on that role. Because I mean, think about it. If somebody wakes up in the morning first thing and the phone's super low on juice, or your external batteries aren't charged, there's nothing you can do about it at that point. Like, you got to roll. Like, you know what I mean? It takes forever for a thing to charge, an hour at least, so it's not like you can rectify that super quickly. I guess you could buy like one of those fuel rods or something, but that's not ideal. If you just spend that 3 to 5 minutes making sure everything's getting juice before you fall asleep, your mornings it's golden. So I'd say electronics. That's kind of my role. I'm like Brian. I might have my shirt inside out and it probably doesn't match. My wife always asks, does that match? And I guess if you ask that question, it probably doesn't.
It probably does not. Yeah.
So you're wearing that? Well, I was until you just made fun of me. Yeah. Okay.
That's also the nice way I asked Brian that doesn't matter.
Are you wearing that? I'm like,
are you wearing that? Yeah.
I have it on. I mean,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, planning on it anyway. So Ricky, anything else though, because we're not going to make this too long. It's a 3-day weekend, but I think we have to do initially.
Well, so I also, make sure that my park bag is ready to go. You want to make sure that you have everything that you're going to need for that day. So I will get rid of the garbage that maybe is in my park bag from the night before, because goodness knows you're throwing things in. I mean, Pam knows I throw pocket biscuits in my purse or cupcakes or whatever. So I've got to take those things.
It's kind of gross.
I got to take those things out of my purse and make sure that they are not going with me into the park that day. So I gotta take.
I'm like scared, like the stuff that Ricky pulls out of her purse. I
can be a security guard. I can't poke my hand in those
bags. Right?
Yeah, it's don't worry, it's a cupcake. Then they have been in my purse before. So don't worry about that. So I'm taking those things out and putting them in the room. I'm also making sure that like Pam said, any water bottles or anything like that I'm bringing with me are filled. I'm making sure that, ponchos, if it's rained the night before, I'll make sure I take the poncho out to dry for the day, because there's nothing worse than, that wet, stinky poncho being in your bag the whole time. And then, you pulling it out and it's smelling mildewy and everything like that. Yeah, just take it out of your bag the night and let it air dry. Same with umbrellas as well. That's something that a lot of people don't think about. They, just leave their umbrella in the bag after it rained, and then, bad things happen. So just take that out too. I'll make sure that everything is ready. Like Mike said, the phones are charged, or the chargers are charged. My portable fan is charged. Anything that needs a charge, that gets done. And I just make sure that everything is ready for the park bag because that is going to be my lifeline throughout the day. Now, of course, I don't necessarily, like Pam said, I don't necessarily carry a lot, and I don't necessarily, if I'm carrying it, use a lot that is in my bag throughout the day. But it is nice to have some of those things. I've started carrying, actually, on this last trip, they had a few of their, I know it's crazy, Disney actually had sales going on in the parks for their merchandise. And I was like, oh! So they had a rain poncho. And it wasn't like, the ones that you put over you. It was like the rain jacket type poncho, like the actual jacket. And they had it on sale. And I was like, okay, well, this means I don't have to wear that sweaty, gross poncho draped over myself, and now I can just wear a jacket and then take that off when it stops raining, and so I don't have to be in the sauna, so I bought that instead, and it was a great purchase because it ended up raining on that trip. And so if that's something to consider is the rain jacket instead of the rain poncho. I know Disney's been selling those lately, so that's something you might want to look at getting.
All right. Well, as we wrap this up, I want to get some of our live chatters in here who gave some comments. Jennifer says she always has protein and flavored water so she doesn't get dehydrated first thing in the morning. You want to get hydrated.
Yeah.
Jack says he starts every Disney day by using his old school H2O lotion from 2016.
Nice.
At this point, it's vintage.
Wow.
He says, it still smells wonderful, and that scent brings back memories of a great Disney vacation from 5 years ago. Really sets up the day nicely. I do that. If I want to have a good day, I get out the green shampoo. That's what I like. It's Disney. Joanna says to try. Now I'm going to try this. Creo Brew ground cacao. I guess that's some kind of coffee. I'm going to go with that. Jack also puts on background music for the park he's going to visit.
Like that.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, Brian definitely does that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Lisa, Sarah, and Maggie all do the Ziplocs. So they're the Ziploc triumvirate right there. And Maggie here, this is awesome. Maggie's got a great idea. Pre-trip, she starts buying cheaper Disney items that Tinkerbell brings to them each night. But here's the deal. They don't get to open them until they're dressed with hair and teeth brushed. Dude, that's so smart.
Right? No kidding. It's not a bribe. It's positive reinforcement.
It's a bribe. And Lisa says using the Ziploc bag is a great way to get their outfits to match. They have no idea they match until it's too late, and then she gets
that's awesome. I love that. So
I think you could surprise the other adults in your party with that too. I'm just saying.
I love our listeners. You guys are awesome. So thanks for being here as we recorded live. Remember, we do this every Monday around 5:45 Eastern. So drop in and see us on YouTube and Facebook. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Check them out today over the 3-day weekend. You got a little extra time. Browse on your phone, browse on your laptop, your desktop, whatever it is. Drop by the magicforless.com. Lots of great free services for you. And they're experts. They are plugged in. They're getting the emails directly from Disney every day with what's going on. They're going to set you up for an amazing Disney vacation. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Also, and Maggie did say it's a bribe. There you go. Also, don't forget to use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And if you really want to support the show, become a patron over at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Also, join us for the live 24/7 chat on Discord. Just go to beourguestpodcast.com and click the link there. And we'll see you over there. Also, follow us on the social media, Instagram and Twitter at beourguestpod and at beourguestmike. And of course, search for the Be Our Guest Podcast on Facebook and YouTube for all the live videos there. All right, we're going to get out of here and let you get on with your 3-day weekend. Thank you so much for being a part of our community. We love talking Disney with you. We love laughing with you. We love sometimes crying. We have to cry about things. It gets so crazy, but you know what? We're all in this together. We're a family. We have been for over 12 years. And I just want to say thank you for being here. It's awesome. So for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Labor Day weekend. Chill out, grill, have some fun, and we'll see you real soon. Boom. Good stuff.
Boom.
Boom. All right, go have some good dinner, Pam. Jealous.
I am. I'm going to. It's so cold in my room. I was like trying to signal to Steve, like, shut off the air. I'm freezing.
Trying to kill me in here.
So anyways, I won't be in a second then when I step out there in the little sauna.
Reels. All right, I'll see you.